Real Life Street Stars. We're in here with Star Music.
What up? What up?
What's it is, man? Man, you just got off tour.
Yeah, I went on tour about April of last year with Currency and Life, man. It was a lot of fun.
That's real talk, real talk. And before we go on the tour, because we definitely want to touch on the tour, first of all, give us a backstory, you know what I'm saying, of who Star Music is, what the brand is, and just kind of catch us up to date, man.
Star Music is just pretty much a hip-hop artist. I'm based out of Ennis, Texas. The market I go out of course, is Dallas, because, that's the big market. That's where I need to be seen. That's where I need to come out of. But I'm never going to forget about Ennis. I'm always there. I'm there every day. Pretty much I'm just a hard-working artist. I like to display my grind. I like to pretty much outwork the next man. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what I pride myself on. That's kind of what I implement with my team, and that's what we pride ourselves on. Now, as far as what we're trying to accomplish is just the brand Star Nation. That's the following, Star Nation. You know how even Justin Bieber got Believers, you know what I mean? Well, I got Star Nation.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
Yeah, you got to always, it's the hashtag game, you know what I'm saying? You got to figure out the hashtag game.
And, I always tell them Star Nation stand up, you know what I mean? It shows, it's crazy.
All right, well, with that said, every artist has a beginning. Every artist has inspiration. Go ahead and just kind of take us back a little bit and just kind of give us some of your inspiration as far as just what got you in the game and kind of what keeps you in the game. Because some people just want to leave it after a certain time. But tell us what got you in it, like who might have motivated you, and then also just what kind of keeps you in it.
I tell you what, man. Back when I was younger, in Ennis, like I said, I had 2 older brothers and I had a cousin, and we were just kind of we would be in our garage and we would kind of just be freestyling over these little tape recorders. I remember the first beat I ever rapped over was Drama, Left, Right, Left. Yeah. So I might be showing my age a little bit.
Hey, we remember that though.
You, man, and just as you grow up, certain things leave you and certain things stay with you. That was something that stayed with me. And then as I grew to learn and love music, I would study Jay-Z albums. I would study Scarface albums. You know what I mean? I would study, Camp Lo, Mos Def, and just the more and more I became infatuated with it, I realized I wanted it to stay with me.
Right.
Now, fast forward to now, just being able to express myself every time I write a record, every time I perform, being able to just go out there and just let it all off my chest, that's what keeps me motivated and moving.
Right, real talk. And with that said, as far as just even, getting into the records, let us know about some projects that you've already kind of put out. Just kind of let us know what your work been like as far as what you already got out.
Well, the first solo project that I put out was When Stars Align. I released that, in September of 2014, in which the show was co-hosted with Cosign Magazine. So you guys see I work with them really close. Packed show. Everything was just pretty much, that was a time capsule for me to create that story and put it out and to pretty much be known as a solo artist, because anybody who knows the background, they know I come from the collective SFS South, in which they're still around. You know what I mean? We're all working together, and eventually we're going to put out some content with SFS. Yeah. But with myself, it was just about getting started as a solo artist. So When Stars Align really hit in Dallas the way I wanted it to. And moving forward, I released some visuals to it. Stack Moses, I know you guys had him in here, and he's my guy. He's my go-to guy. I worked with Jeff Adair once, but Stack Moses is my go-to guy.
Yeah, go-to. He got that flavor,
He does, man. And then late this last year, 2015, we were sitting around and we was like, we need to put something out, whether it's a couple of singles, whether it's something, and I just decided, I'm going to do a surprise project. I'm going to really show my followers on this one. So I did a surprise project the night after one of my biggest shows, which was I did a show with Funk Volume, Hobson, Dizzy Wright. You know what I mean? It was a packed crowd at the Bond Factory.
Yeah.
And so the next morning it was like, hey, all the new followers, I appreciate it. Here's a new project. You know what I mean? And so it just went the way it was supposed to go, and I've grown ever since then.
What's up? I see you got the Cosign Magazine, man. I see you walking the gear. Tell us a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, well, pretty much 2013, when I decided we were going to hit the scene, I started to work with folks. I started to reach out to local brands, local businesses, and who I was working with. KG, Cosign Magazine, who's a real close friend of mine, I reached out to him. I was looking to get some promotional packages, and he came into one of my studio sessions with the entire team. Well, he seen the way I worked, and of course, one person working like another, it's going to motivate them to work with each other. So all his events, I show up at them. You know what I mean? I do business with him. He does business with me. I'm in every one of his magazines, a full page.
Yeah, real talk. As far as even with Real Life Street Stars, we got the Booth Boys that we do pictures. We done mess with Cosign for a minute. So, yeah, definitely good dude and good product. It's all about the product you put out. When it comes to, these eras in music, you have the beginning of hip-hop, in the 80s. Then you have the, the rough 90s as far as, with the X and Jay-Z, as you said. with the Nellies in the 2000 and kind of with the dance craze now, and kind of what we're doing now with the whole, just these young kids, these hipsters. What era would you place your music in?
I'd place mine probably in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Because that's where I honed my skills.
Real
You know
talk.
what I mean? That's kind of where I figured out who I was and what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And so even now, like even now, that 2000, 2005 music, that still can be played today at a high replay value. You know what I mean? Like how many of us still listen to Get Rich or Die Trying? You know what I mean? I know I still do.
Definitely. And with that said, just being out of Ennis, and we're gonna touch base on hometown too, but just kind of seeing what the Dallas to Houston, as far as just seeing that what Houston did back in the early 2000s, what Dallas kind of did in the mid 2000s with the with the dance boogie stuff, like as far as what difference do you see with Houston music and just Dallas music in general, just over time?
I think it was back in the day when the guys out of Houston, like Big Mo and them, I think they were just. I think it was what they did with their music. They were just taking time to put it out on a higher level, and they were hitting the road. And they had things that we didn't have at the time. Like they had the Kappa. You know what I mean? They had things like that drew people to Houston. You know what I mean? You had to see the culture. Like Dallas has never had anything like the lean culture. You know what I mean? Dallas has never had anything like Screw. So we pretty much just been taking everything from them. But at the same time, it's just Houston was what you wanted to be growing up. I got cats, homies in Cleveland. They was like, yo, we was bumping Paul Walker Millionaire. You know what I mean? We was bumping Slim Thug, them old tapes. Like it was, Houston was nothing like we had ever seen before. You know what I mean? And Dallas had our little run, and it's gonna come back around.
So, what would you say is the best thing about Ennis?
The best thing about Ennis is pretty much everybody knows everybody. So if you're in the business to do something or be somebody, as long as you go about it the right way, it'll work for you. That's the best thing about it.
Is there any other artists out there to look for?
Yeah, there's a couple of other artists out there, man. A lot of them are younger. Some of them are older. I think there was a cat back in the day. Like they had a potential deal on the table. I don't really know what happened with it, but I mean.
And if somebody was from out of town coming to Ennis to do a show or just driving through, what would you say is the stop by place in Ennis? You know what I'm saying?
It's a spot down there called NL's, man. It's a small spot. It holds like 300 people. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they brought Lil B-Man down there before. You know what I mean? They brought Lil Ronnie down there. They brought Big Chief down there. You know what I mean? So I mean, like I said, we not unknown down there, and they come out. They come out, and the people show up every time.
Exactly. And kind of how you touched on, as far as the Houston and Dallas reference there. Is there any artists, major artists that you kind of notice in Dallas that you ain't worked with, or either Houston that you haven't worked with that you would like to work with?
In Houston, I think I would like to catch up and work with like Bun B and Slim Thug and them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though they're older, I mean, even though they still were a moment in my life that I listened to them and I cherish the music that they made. So I would like to work with them. As far as Dallas, I mean, anybody who's active now, because at this point, there's nobody that's just taking off. Right. It's just overnight success. Like I know you have Fat Pimp that he recently signed, and Lil Ronnie, a couple of cats like that. But there's nobody that when you come to Dallas, that's who you think of. You know what I mean? Even Erykah Badu at this moment, she's just now coming back to the culture.
Real talk. And even I think what's kind of pumping a lot of people going forward, even we see here in Dallas and Fort Worth, is just maybe sometimes people pick artists to go after to kind of boost their career. Maybe somebody harder as far as I don't want to call it beef, but I do call it kind of trying to do like a hostile type takeover, just real quick, just to kind of get a name in the door. What do you feel about people using beef to propel the music as far as just putting it out there?
A lot of times if you don't have a hit record, if you ain't beat somebody up on camera, you need publicity. You need press, whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? So it's like as long as you ain't the one getting beat up or you ain't the one getting dissed, everything is good. Yeah. Everything's good because it's all healthy at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like there hasn't been too many situations where people have beefed on records and it actually spilled over into the streets and been something real. Yeah. Sometimes it has been. Sometimes it has, but like I said, we passed that. Yeah. A lot of it is, if you're a man, it can be talked out.
Exactly. And in listening to your music, what I'm saying, you consider a lyricist. Some people get away from that. Some people just fall to the production of a beat, right. just want to kind of glide to the beat a little bit. But you are a lyricist. What do you feel about the artists that really are putting lyrics first, that's not getting a shine, compared to like some people that just put out the kind of the pop music, the bubblegum rap, and just kind of just flowing over a beat? What do you feel about the difference in the two?
The lyricists are still appreciated. At the actual hip hop shows, the lyricists, they're really appreciated. It's just as an artist, as that career, they have to find something that works for them. They have to do more than the fad rapper. You know what I mean? They have to be more active. They have to put more content out. They have to put more visuals out. Right. They have to do something more. You know what I mean? Because they're not easily heard to the ear as of by a dance song, you know what I mean, or something that's going to be normally played in the club. And so, I mean, I appreciate a lyricist, but even then, I can still appreciate a Future record where he's absolutely saying nothing, but it sounds good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
True.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, the lyricist, it's always been there. It's always going to be there. As long as you got an ear for it, as long as you can appreciate it, then it is what it is.
Do you consider Migos lyricists?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
like what would you like, because you know they go and they say they actually say that, you know, they write, they, you know, they, if you really listen to them, they really putting, you know, stuff out there, and they could be lyricists, but you know, of course they put it out there. Like, what would you categorize just that music, you know, as far as just people call it the Migos flow? Like,
to me that's rap music.
Okay,
that's rap music. You know what I mean? What I've always known as rap was the commercial, trendy, for the moment, whatever it may be, even radio music.
True,
you know what I mean? Which is versus hip hop is more so about the culture. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a complete difference. And if anybody's going to be in this industry, they need to know the difference between rap and hip hop.
Real talk. And speaking of culture, how much so now do you feel like the fashion industry is part of hip hop now?
I think it has everything to do with it.
Yeah.
You got to think hip hop, urban culture is the most influential anything in the world today. You know what I mean? The way we dress, the way we talk, the way we cut our hair, everybody around the world is doing it.
Real talk. And as far as you know, as far as projects that you want to see going forward, I know you got the visuals coming out and music coming out. As far as what projects do you have lined up? Let's just say, I don't want to throw it too far in 5 years, but just let's say 2016. What is it looking like for 2016?
2016 is just I continue to apply pressure. You know what I mean? I want to actually fund my own tour. You know, my own Texas tour. I want to fund it. But in terms of a project, I've been working with the Billboard producer, Grammy-winning Jay Rhodes.
Yeah.
I've been working with him, and we stepped back for a minute because I was going through some personal things. But we're going to get back in the studio this year, and I have an album titled Dreams Hustle Can Buy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're going to finish up on that and go forward.
So I asked this question, and I asked this before. Why do you think that we have a lot of Grammy award-winning producers in the city. Why do you think they don't work with more artists in the city?
In Dallas, I think it's just for them, they've proven themselves. So it's like not everybody wants to give back. You know what I mean? And sometimes, in some cases, that's not always a bad thing. You know what I mean? As like my situation, I had to be out there active enough to where one day J. Rose shot me a message and was like, you know what, you're working. We need to work now. And when I got in the studio with him, like his appreciation for the things that I had done thus far, it was mind blowing. You know what I mean? To be in the studio with somebody who's produced on a #1 album with Lecrae, you know what I mean? It was just like, wow, I'm really in this moment. So I gotta succeed. I gotta make it happen. I gotta live in this moment. And just moving forward, that's just what I'm building on. And
how do you feel about once you do, of course, step into, you know, that upper echelon of artists that come out of Texas, of as the church say, co-signing and reaching down and bringing someone back up? How do you feel about as far as you doing that?
I think it's going to be necessary.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you look at even, I can allude back to Houston. You look at somebody like Trill Sammy, who's coming up, or even the Sauce Twins, they're being co-signed by Slim Thug. You know what I mean? And so all that's going on. So, I mean, like I said, if you get to OG status, why would you not help somebody young and that's on their grind? That's doing it the right way. You know what I mean? Whether they get 100,000 or 10,000, if they're doing it the right way, why would you not help them out? You know what I mean? Why would you sit back and act like you're just you and you're not worried about them?
Real talk. But with that said, you know, 2015 just wrapped up. We had a lot of current events, and we like to ask, you know, artists that come through here on their take on current events. Most recently, you know, we had Bill Cosby. I guess you could say he took a horrible L. If you want to look at it like that, what do you feel about the Bill Cosby
Yeah, he took
situation?
a major L, man. I think they said he was tried back in 2005 for that stuff and got out of it. Well, bro, like, you got to think, like, karma is real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Karma is real, and it's just coming back and it's just getting him. If he done
tell
it.
boys about pulling their pants up. You know,
and I seen it on videos. He was like joking about it. Like, was it Larry King? He was like,
Larry King
and it's like the
about
look on his eyes, like, come on, bro.
Yeah, the look on his eyes during that Larry King interview, they're like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm just letting y'all know, just jokingly, how comedians do it.
Yeah, but real life doing it.
Exactly. And you know, to kind of switch that up a little bit. You know, as far as in 2015, we've seen a lot of part of the Black Lives Matter movement, a lot of situations going on, especially with Sandra Bland out of Texas. You know what I'm saying, which hit home for a lot of people out of Texas, especially artists. What are your thoughts on just that situation with Sandra Bland and just the whole Black Lives Matter movement in general?
You know, I think it's really tough, man, because nowadays you have social media being so big and they can cut and clip these videos and they can show just about anything that they want you to see.
Yeah.
You know, I remember me and Marco, we were talking one day and he was just like, you know, hey, go back and watch that video because you notice on the side of the road, that same car is looped. And you know what I mean? So it looks like they looped the video. And so, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. If these people are being killed wrongfully, come on, man, it has to stop. It just has to stop, you know what I mean? Because they're not going to be surprised. I mean, they're not going to be satisfied until martial law is put in effect, and then people actually start killing police, just flat open out in the streets killing police.
Exactly. And with that said, as far as getting on, social media, what's your, what outlet are you using right now for social media? Are you Facebook with it? Instagram? Pinterest?
I'm Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the whole nine. I think the ones that are the most effective for me is Facebook and Instagram. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on all of those things. But, I mean, I think you have the option to run, like, sponsored posts. You have the option to advertise, and it don't just have to come from my personal account saying, yo, check out my music. I can post it one time, and it's going to stay there. It's going to stay there for thousands of people to see.
Real talk. And as far as just, a fan of the music in general, you know what I'm saying, what would you like to see happen with the Grammys? Or what, I know the nominations came out as far as who do you think got slighted, or what would you like to see happen just in general with the Grammy Awards,
I would like to see a criteria broken down, like on actually how they grade and how they do these, how they pick these awards, who's voting, you know what I mean? How they do that. Like, I want to see that criteria because, you have somebody like Kendrick who, when he dropped Good Kid, Mad City, we thought that was one of the best albums of that time, and it got slated. So it's just like, I want to see that. I want to see them getting better and improve on their system of picking the award winners.
And last question, who you gonna vote for?
I tell you what, man, if I decide to vote, I'm really going to do my research on everything. You know what I mean? Because I got a close friend who's actually coming up, and he's running for like a county commissioner from where we're at. But he's a conservative Republican. You know what I mean? But everything, the way I grew up, everything that I know is as a Democrat. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to really do my research on it, man, and try to make the best educated decision if I decide to. But I got to be honest, I like Bernie Sanders.
Real talk. Already. Well, any shout outs you want to give?
I'm just going to shout out everybody supporting us. Say Cheese TV, Cosign, Reallyfe Productions, you know what I mean? Like I said, my artist, St. Rowe, Joe Brown, Marco, JT the Beast, my whole team, everybody that's helped us get to this point, that's who I'm showing love to.
Real talk. You are a street star, man. Star music. Real life street stars.
Yeah.